Everyone, Shanna with Apogee the Moon. As promised, we're going to take a swing around the zodiac for this Scorpio new moon that's coming up on the 15th. So I wanted to come back on. I've just been having a hard time getting here. So let's see, share screen. We will go through the zodiac. Well, first, why don't I just kind of remind everybody what's going on here with this new moon. So this is the new moon chart for my location. And the new moon happens at 12:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 23 degrees of Scorpio, in sextile with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, and the only other aspect this new moon is making is the quincunx or semi-sextile, whichever you want to call it, to Venus at 22 degrees. Venus will be at 23 degrees, which is where we had that new moon in Libra last month. But this one's a little bit different. So Mars is stationed direct at 15 degrees. Venus is off of the opposition with Mars. So the only exact aspects that this new moon is making is to the stellium in Capricorn and the Venus semi-sextile. So there's a little bit of support with this new moon supporting what you're doing. It's just going to take action on your part and also possibly on someone else's part. So with that being said, I will also share so for Aries and for Aries rising, this new moon is happening in the latter degrees of your 8th house. So this is death, taxes, inheritances, joint finances, other people's money, traumas. This can be deep core wounds or healing of those deep core wounds, psychological issues involving, as well as involving 10th house things, because this moon is in sextile, and possibly with the semi-sextile to Venus, 7th house things as well. So there's some themes here with this new moon, and this is a very intense new moon. As I said before, this moon is at apogee. This moon is at perigee, which is where it's closest to the earth. So higher tides, more storms, stronger emotions. So granted, this is a new moon, but it's going to be, people's emotions are going to be more heightened, almost like a full moon. So after this new moon, we are entering eclipse season, because the full moon after this is a partial lunar eclipse in Gemini. So there is, especially in my area, there are surprises that will be coming, because the ruler of this new moon is Mercury, because it is Virgo rising. On the chart that I just showed you for my location. So being that Mercury is the ruler, Mercury is still in shadow period. He has the last opposition to Uranus that he's going to make, and then move on out and become, move out of his shadow period and become more discerning and more focused in Scorpio. So there is some shock and awe that is coming with this new moon. Very shocking new beginnings, very intense new beginnings. There are possible partnerships with this new moon in the 8th house, especially for Aries, because 8th house is where you meet other people as well, where you join together with other people. So this could see a new beginning for Aries rising, especially in joining together with someone else, either business partnerships or marriages or things like that, or even, you know, divorces. Divorces are seen mostly from the 6th house, but 8th house as well, of because it's ruled by Mars. Mars is now direct, so we have that outward expression of Mars again. By the time, he's not really moving very fast, but he is direct. And I believe by the time this new moon comes exact, he has moved forward. Even if it's just a few feet, he's still taking those steps forward. So for Scorpio, this is in the 8th house, and the sextile to the 10th house would indicate that there are changes in either retirement or in social status or in how you're represented out in the world for Aries and for Aries rising. And there are changes that are going to be happening, and new things, possibly new things coming in for joint finances or for inheritances or insurance claims. If you've been waiting for an insurance claim, or you've been waiting for something to come through, or you've been trying to purchase something and get a loan or anything like that, this new moon could see you feeling like, okay, now it's time, and let's go, because now Mars is direct, and Mars rules you and your 8th house. So that is for Aries and for Aries rising. I'm going to do this. There we go. So for Taurus and for Taurus rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 7th house, especially if your ascendant is anywhere from 20 degrees, I would say, to 26 degrees. We'll give it a 3-degree orb on either side. This is going to be a very powerful new beginning for you in relationship, in contractual relationship, in partnership, for clients, if you have clients. So this new beginning is very interesting because it's also in sextile with the planets that have been in your 9th house. So there could be opportunity to work in partnership, or even to you know, schedule a move of some kind, because it is the 9th house and you've been having those planets in Capricorn transit your 9th house for the last couple of years. There's been a need, a want, and a desire possibly, but because of Saturn has limited and delayed that, this new moon in sextile to those planets could indicate that you are planning a move or planning a trip, and it's going to take diligence, it's going to take time, it's going to take, you know, it's going to be revolutionary for your life as well, because Pluto's also involved, and Mars is now direct, the ruler of your one of the co-rulers of your 7th house. And with Mars now direct in your 12th house, this new moon, it could be very powerful for Taurus risings in partnership with other people, seeing, you know, new clients, new business ventures, new contractual business ventures, right? Like it's signing on the dotted line. So this could see that for Taurus risings. This could see heightened emotion in relationships because the moon is at perigee. It is at its closest to the earth. So heightened emotions, you know, there's possibly not, when the moon is at perigee, there's a tendency to be in the feels, versus when the moon is at apogee and looking at things from a logical standpoint. When it's at its closest, we're more swayed by those instinctual urges. So be cognizant of what you're doing. There will be shocks and there will be surprises from you on your end, as well as when Mercury passes its final opposition to Uranus, which is, you know, in your 1st house, depending on where your ascendant is. And so there could be some shocks, some crazy turn of events, some shocking things that are happening. Shocking is not necessarily bad. It's just, especially for Taurus, a fixed sign, you know, I mean, Uranus is shaking things up for Taurus, you know, sun, moon, ascendant, whatnot. If you have a stellium in Taurus, even it's going to be shaking things up over the coming few years if it hasn't already. If you have any planets, personal planets especially, or key points, you know, in the angles of the house, like ascendant, 10th house, you know, the midhaven, the descendant, and the home or IC. So this new moon is definitely very powerful for Taurus ascendant people in partnership and in business and clients as well. For Gemini and for Gemini rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 6th house. This is your daily routines. This is what you do for your health, for your mental health. This is your coworkers. This is your employees or your subordinates. This is your workplace in general. This is your job. This is what you do of service to the greater whole of humanity. So for this new moon, for Gemini rising especially, this could see a new beginning or a new way that you are either taking care of your health, you're getting a deeper understanding of where it is that your body has been out of alignment. You're understanding where your, I mean, it's water too. So, I mean, just be careful of, you know, of retaining water, because I know at one of the water, I think it was the Pisces full moon, for me personally, my moon is in Pisces, so I have a tendency to retain water anyway, but that Pisces full moon, I saw my body swelling with retaining water. So especially because the moon is at apogee right now and it's the closest to the earth, definitely be careful of that. I'm not a health professional, so we'll just put that out there right now. You know, this is not meant to diagnose or treat anyone with anything. Go see your doctor if you start retaining water abnormally much. But for Gemini and for Gemini rising, this can also see a change in jobs. This could see a change in, because this new moon is in a sextile with the planets that are in Capricorn that have been transiting your 8th house. This could see a new beginning in how it is that you take care of yourself, because something has happened and you've been really worried about the finances. You've been really worried about, you know, psychological things going on, especially, you know, with this last conjunction of Jupiter, Pluto in your 8th house, and this ongoing energy at the end of that. So this could see some Gemini rising people possibly even getting help, you know, doing therapy or diving into occult methods of coping, learning how and where things come from. This is deep psychological transformation with this full moon in Scorpio, especially because Scorpio is the traditional ruler of the 8th house, and you know, you have all these planets in the 8th house, especially the ruler of Scorpio in the 8th house. So this could see you really diving deep either into the occult or into psychology, into even astrology or things like that. So just be cognizant of what's going on around you, right? And especially make sure you're taking care of your health. Make sure that you're not falling into the rat race, because the moon is at apogee and it is closest to the earth, so it is heightened emotions. So it feels like it's now, it needs to be done now. Just know that, you know, when the moon is dark, it's about seeding intentions. So maybe seed the intention at this new moon to get the help that you need in order to deal with the stresses of the everyday life that you're facing, and work with someone in the capacity to take care of your mental health. For Cancer and for Cancer rising, this new moon is happening in your 5th house, Cancer. So this is fun, this is play, this is children, this is hobbies, this is love affairs, this is boyfriend, girlfriend kind of energy, you know. This is creativity and things that you love to do just because you love to do them. And so for Cancer rising especially, this can see a new beginning either in the life of your children, because it is fifth house, or this can see a new beginning for you working with someone in that seventh house capacity, with partnerships, signing contracts, things like that, for possibly taking that hobby to the next level and making it a business in partnership with someone else, with this new moon in sextile to those planets in Capricorn. This can see even taking a relationship from, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, to that contractual partnership of marriage, you know, that kind of thing. This can see, you know, possibly some Cancers getting pregnant or deciding to have children during this new moon, or seeding the intention to have babies over the coming months, or having babies, right? This affects everybody differently. But with Saturn in the seventh house, definitely there have been changes in relationship, and that could indicate also a planned pregnancy too. But it's been a very serious seventh house affair for the last several years, and now this new moon in Scorpio in a sextile, working with the energy of that seventh house, this could see things really start to take off in terms of the hobbies and the things that you love to do, occult practices. I mean, with Scorpio as the fifth house, you really enjoy the deeper aspects of life, and really that understanding of the deeper aspects of life, whether or not it's, you know, occult, mysticism, well, not mysticism, but like occult practices like witchcraft, astrology, psychology, even, you know, things that are deeper, things that possibly are even a little more taboo in nature. So this Scorpio new moon is an intense new moon, and there will be shocks along the way because of that Mercury moving into an opposition with Uranus in Scorpio for the final time. So there could be disruptions, there could be, you know, shocking surprises along the way, which, depending on whether or not you like shocking surprises, that could be a good thing or not. So with the sextile though to the seventh house, this is definitely going to be in partnership and be working with the energies of other people as well. So for Leo and for Leo rising, this new moon is happening in your fourth house. So this is your home, this is your family, this is your property, this is your maternal line, or your mother, your parents in general are seen from the fourth house. This is your foundations, these are the roots, this is what you come home to at the end of the day, and this is who you are behind the scenes. So this new moon at perigee, especially at the closest to the earth, this can be a real intense new beginning at home for you. This could see you either deciding to move. Obviously, you know, Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto are in your sixth house of daily routines and your health. So this new moon perigee in sextile to those planets in Capricorn in your sixth house could, I mean, maybe you, this could see some Leos possibly having to take care of their parents if they're older. This could see some Leos deciding to move for work. This could see some Leos, I mean, if you are working, if you get a job, you know, halfway across the country, whatever, obviously there's things that you need to do to get there, right? So things like that. But this is definitely, this could see this new moon in Scorpio in sextile to the planets in Capricorn. This could see you getting a new, you know, doing something with the home that's going to take time. Maybe having those deeper conversations with people at home. This could see you taking care of your home, and that affects your health overall, but this could also see you working with other people to understand where it is that your lineage comes from. So I can tell you a funny story real quick, and I'll try to make it quick. My aunt, I am a Leo rising, and Scorpio is my fourth house. My aunt sent me a DNA kit to find out what my side of the lineage is, because obviously when it comes to genetics, I would only share about 25% of my genome with her. So because, it's my father and his sister, so I only share about 25% of my genome with her. So she wanted me to take the test to see what's on my maternal line, and that's generally how they do it. They follow the mitochondria back on the maternal line. So anyway, so that quick thing, like getting deeper and understanding who you are and your health and well-being and where it is that you truly come from, to understand what it is that you're lacking in that sixth house realm of health and wellness, and how you can make yourself better, and how you can, change your routines, change your diet, do things like that. So that's a personal perspective on how it's shaping out in my life. So as a Leo rising. And this moon squares my ascendant exactly at 23 degrees. So definitely this is the irony, and, astrology is everything. So depending on how your chart is set up as a Leo ascendant, Leo sun, Leo moon, what have you, this could see you diving deep in that home, family, roots, lineage, ancestors, and getting deep with that as well, and working with someone to understand that. So there's that. So for Virgos and for Virgos, right? For Virgos and Virgos rising, again with the speech, right? So Virgos, I'm sorry. Every time I get to you Virgos, I screw something up with my words. So I do apologize for that. But for this new moon, this is happening in your third house. This is your siblings. This is your cousins and your extended family members. This is your community. This is your short distance travel. This is neighbors or your neighborhood. This is communication in general. This is your communication devices as well. So this new moon in your third house in sextile with the planets that are in your fifth house. I mean, if you are an N degree Virgo rising, this new moon is in sextile with your ascendant, trine with your descendant, and also in this new moon is in sextile to those planets that are at the end of your fifth house. So, and this is whole sign, right? Just a reminder. So this could see you working with someone in your community for getting something started with something fun, some type of playfulness, some type of, maybe it has to do with kids even, because of that sextile between your third and your fifth house. This could see a new beginning for your siblings even. This could see a new beginning in how you associate with your community and what you do for fun within your community because of that sextile in your fifth house. This could possibly even see you working on traveling within your community with that third and fifth house energy in the sextile. This could see you possibly even, changing up the neighborhood that you live in, if there's other indications there. But this could also see you changing how you communicate with your children, or see you changing how you communicate with lovers, how you communicate, with the people that are in that fifth house realm, either lovers or children. This could see you really changing how it is that you relate to those fifth house things, and what you're saying about those fifth house things. So there's that for Virgo rising. as well. So for Libra and for Libra rising, this is your second house. This is finances for you. This is your material possessions. This is your self-worth. This is your value system, what you value and what you contribute to the world. This is money as well, because second house is money. This can be seen as your self-worth, how you value other people in your life, how you value things in your life. So this new moon in sextile with the planets that are in your fourth house could see you, especially at the perigee, because this is really, you know, your value systems could be stepped on. There is that opposition of Mercury that's going to become making the final pass to the opposition to Uranus up in your 8th house. So there could be disruptions in money over the coming month. And so that's going to have to see you changing how you do things, how you're aware of things, how you're aware of how you are in partnership as well. And it could have something to do with the home. Like maybe you've just purchased a home and your significant other has lost a job. Or maybe, you know, there's that disruption to that 8th house thing. Maybe something happens and your partner gets a raise at work and it changes things at home. And you know, what it is that you're able to do with your finances as well. This could see you making purchases for something to do with the home, because it is that sextile with second house money and fourth house home, family, property. You know, this could see you buying something for the home or doing home renovations or, you know, things of that nature. And using your money also, this could be, I mean, Libra's in the fourth house. This, you know, could especially with Saturn, this could see you either buying something maybe for a baby that's on the way, or a baby that has already been born, you know, depending on where your ascendant is, whether or not you're early or late degrees Libra. You've been going through this for a little while now. But this new moon, especially at perigee, is very intense and things that are going to be shocking, things that are going to be, you know, coming to light over the coming weeks with this new moon and new beginnings. It's going to take time, and it's going to yield some very interesting but intense results and changes really in how you value things, and working with that energy of the second house and the fourth house of home and family, and what it is that you value with your home and family. So that is for Libra. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, this is you, Scorpio. Happy birthday to all my Scorpio sun and ascendant people out there. You know, I love my Scorpios. It is my IC, so I feel very at home with Scorpio ascendant and Scorpio sun people. Both my kids are Scorpio suns, so definitely a lot of Scorpio in the world, in my little world that I have, my little microcosm, and I love Scorpio energy. Pluto is in sextile to my ascendant, so I do like that deep Scorpio energy. So with this new moon in your first house, this is a new beginning for you, Scorpio. This can affect every other area of your life, but with this sextile to the planets in Capricorn in your third house, this can affect how you communicate with people. This could affect how you communicate either with, you know, children. Third house is early childhood. Or this could see you changing how you communicate with your siblings, because third house is also siblings. This could see you changing how you communicate in general. And maybe, you know, because this moon is at perigee, this is going to see something very intense coming up, especially with Mercury moving into that opposition for the final time with Uranus in your 7th house. This could see you changing up how it is that you're communicating with the people in your community, with people on the internet, with, you know, if you have a business or whatnot that you communicate with people on the internet with. This could see you completely changing, you know, how it is that you're known in the world as well, depending on where your ascendant is. This new moon, especially if it's between 20 I would say 20 degrees to 26 degrees. We'll give it a 3-degree orb on either end because the new moon is happening at 23 degrees. So this new moon is a very intense new moon for you. It's in sextile to, one of your chart rulers. This could definitely see you changing the way you communicate and being more authentic in how you communicate and being more, using more intense words, maybe more, being more perceptive and really truly understanding what it is that's going on with other people that are around you with this new moon. And this could be working in partnership, because sextiles can, you have to activate them. So this can be you doing it yourself, or this can be you working in a partnership with someone else as well. So for Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising, this new moon is happening in your 12th house. So this is hidden things. This is, self-undoing or self-sabotage, whatever this is the house in general and what it represents. It's not going to show up the same for everybody. This is hospitals, ashrams, prisons. This is your dreams, right? In the dream realm when you're asleep, not like hopes and wishes and dreams. That's the 11th house. So this is your dream life and how active it is. So this is also solitude and seclusion. And this is where you go to get the F away from it all. So with this new moon here, in sextile to, your second house and the planets that are in your second house, this could definitely be a very intense new beginning where you're just going to say F it all and throw caution to the wind and just get away from the world and just completely unplug, because you're dealing with a lot right now in terms of your value systems and what you value and what it is that you creatively want to create moving forward in, once Saturn and Jupiter move out of your second house and into your third house. So this is really a time for you to pull back and really sit with this new moon energy and understand what it is that you truly value and what it is that you want to pull in and what it is that you want to create, right? So you have to remember, it's not a one-way street. It's what you pull in and what you give out. You get what you put out. So there's definitely, you need to really sit with this energy and understand emotionally, especially because it is at perigee. This moon is at its closest ascent to the earth. So emotions are going to be heightened. So, this is definitely you pulling inward and saying, okay, this is how big everything is for me right now. This is where I need to pull away, get out of it all, and understand that this is what I value. This is the kind of people that I want in my life. This is who I want to be and what I want to put out and what I want to create to give to the world. And you'll get that back, right, with that sextile from the 12th to the 2nd. So that's for Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising. So sorry, I gotta check the time here. No, we're good. So first, Capricorn and for Capricorn rising, this new moon is happening in your 11th house. So this is your friends, your social groups, the organizations that you belong to by choice. This is the internet. This is social media. This is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, the things you truly desire to aspire to or to gain in life. This is also money seen coming in from that 10th house career, Capricorn. And this is also where it is that you are being an activist, where it is that you are being a humanitarian, right, to the world. Because the 11th house is really like big groups and organizations. And for you, this new moon at perigee is in sextile to you and the planets that, if you're anywhere from 20 to 26 degrees of Capricorn, not only have you been feeling this with all those planets piling up on your ascendant, you are going to really feel this sextile and this help. You yourself could be getting help from the people that you associate with. This could see you getting help from the people that you surround yourself with or from organizations that you belong to, and getting the help that you need to get yourself where you want to be physically, to get yourself where you want to be organizationally. You know, you've had like a great reset yourself, Capricorn. So this is for you to really understand who you are now after all of this tumultuous, crazy turmoil and upheaval and intense situations and delays and frustrations and just things blown out of proportion. So this can definitely see you having a completely new beginning with that 11th house theme in partnership with you, or people coming in and helping you. Maybe you've had to rely on your friendships, or maybe you have a new friendship that's coming in, or a new group or a group association that's coming in that's really going to help you understand you, because you're going to have, you know, Jupiter and Saturn moving into your second house of value systems. So things are going to change, things are going to shift. It's going to get a little lighter, you know, in the coming months. For you, Capricorn, it's not going to be so intense anymore, but what you've gone through, you can really help also get awareness out and understand how it is that social things, right? And be an activist and be a humanitarian and show people that understanding, that Capricornian, you know, understanding and whatnot. So that's for Capricorn and for Capricorn rising. For Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this Scorpio new moon is happening in your 10th house. This is your career. This is how people see you from the public standpoint of what you're doing out in the world. This is this is bosses or authority figures. This is also the legacy that you want to leave behind. So there's a very intense new beginning that's happening for you, Aquarius, in sextile with those planets. So maybe, you know, I mean, especially if you're in a place that's in lockdown right now, right? Like, who has a career anymore? But for you, this is seeing a new beginning in that 10th house of career, of how you're known out in the world, of the things you're doing out in the world, or even, you know, it could be over the internet if you're in lockdown, but in sextile to those planets that have been transiting your 12th house, you had a taste of what Saturn in your sign coming through to your ascendant was like. But now that it's back there and it's making these final aspects, you know, this new moon at perigee, this is a really intense new beginning. Mercury's there. It's going to be making an opposition. There's going to be some changes on the home front. There's going to be some shocking surprises on the home front. And there's also this, you know, intense focus on career, and then what's happening behind the scenes with that 12th house and what's happening. Maybe you're getting to the bottom, you know, you're realizing how addicted you are to those 10th house things, or you're realizing how addicted you are to certain things in your life, and you are now working, you know, with, or even this, I mean, this 12th house things, this could be, I mean, moving internationally as well, depending on what else is going on in your chart. But this new moon in your 10th house and the sextile to the planets in your 12th house, this is really getting an understanding of where it is that you've been self-sabotaging your career even, or there's self-sabotaging yourself, or hidden enemies come to light with this new moon in sextile. You're going to be working with people to understand, or getting a deeper understanding. Obviously sextiles, you have to activate it. Either you're working with other people to activate it, or you're really focusing on, you know, pulling yourself out of the fray in order to understand what it is that you want to show people moving forward with that 10th house. So that's really what that sextile is. It's the behind the scenes evaluation and the behind the scenes understanding of what's going on for you, to understand what it is that you're going to be moving towards, you know, out in the limelight, out in the world, out, you know, for everyone to see, and what you're putting forth. So that's for Aquarius. And for Pisces and for Pisces rising, this perigee new moon, so this intense new moon, is happening in your 9th house. This is philosophy. This is morals and beliefs, foreigners, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, publishing. This is your ethical code, like the code that you live by, right? That ethical code. This can be religion and morals as well. So this new moon at perigee could see you moving, even Pisces, or this could see you setting the intent that you're done with living wherever it is that you're living, and you're done with the totalitarianism. You're done with, you know, I mean, I got to be careful what I say, but you're done with where it is that you're living. And the sextile that's happening from your 9th to your 11th, you possibly are going to rely on friends to get out of the situation that you want to get out of. You could also be working, right? So 9th and 11th, this could see you working with other people from foreign countries. In that 11th house theme, the gains that you would get if you are a business owner, if you're a Pisces rising and you're a business owner, that 11th house theme of, you know, of the gains and the hopes and the wishes and the dreams, you're working in sextile with other people, right? So that's, to me, that's what this is. And working with other people and starting that new beginning. I mean, it's intense, but it's for the long haul. It will have a good effect on your finances too, and how many people you can affect long term. This is also, you know, I mean, like I said, moving. This can see you deciding that you're going to move, you know, out of wherever it is that you are, whether or not. It's this intensity, right? There's going to be shocks. There's going to be surprises, especially as Mercury moves through and makes that last opposition to Uranus, you know, in that 9th house that you have. So there's going to be some new information, shocks and surprises that's going to come to light that either is going to require you to do something about it, or it's going to just shock you out of complacency, and you're going to decide, all right, you know what, I don't care, we're done, we're gone, I can't deal with this anymore, and you're going to move, and, you know, rely on those social groups and those organizations that can help you get out of wherever it is that you are. So there is that. So that is what I have, and I said I would get it out to you. I know it's a little late. It's not really late because the new moon hasn't really happened yet. So I'm pretty confident that, you know, that I'm not late, but I did say that I would get it to you over the weekend. I unfortunately was not able to. There's been a lot of crazy things happening. But it's here. You have it. You have the information that you need. So if you would like to leave a, you know, a note in the comment box, do so. Like, share, subscribe if you want to see more content. So I hope that you all have a great week, great weekend, and happy new moon.